Sometimes you see couples that come into your office and one person is blaming the other person while the other person is doing what we call placating. In Hebrew, they're mevater. They're always giving in. Now, the blamer tends to stand upright and point downwards and says, it's your fault, you're to blame, you're always late, you never care about me. And the placater is usually sitting below and looking up and saying, okay, yes, dear, yes, honey, whatever you want, sweetheart, as long as you're happy. What's wrong with that? Well, we learn in family therapy that there's actually 4 stress styles of communication. The first stress style is called the placater. The second style is called the blamer. The third style is called the computer, and the fourth style is called the distractor. Let's understand why this is so important to help human relationship and marriages. The placater actually gives up a part of themselves. They don't really express what they're feeling or what they're going through inside. It's always about the other person. Now, one might think that it's a good thing to be married to a placater. Who wouldn't want to be married to somebody who says, yes, dear, yes, honey, whatever you want, sweetheart? But what's the problem? If a person placates for too long, they start developing something called resentment. They're not going to be a happy person in the long run. They're going to, in many different ways, express their displeasure, maybe not directly, but indirectly. What about the blamer? What does the blamer do? The blamer is always saying it's my way or the highway. They're always putting the other person down. They're highly critical. And what is it like being around somebody who's critical? Well, the truth is no one likes being around somebody who's critical. If you're a critical person, people either will be critical with you or they're going to withdraw from that relationship. But you put these two people together, you put the placater and the blamer, you have a poisonous relationship. One person is placating a lot and feeling miserable inside. The other person is blaming a lot. Let's take a look at 2 other styles. What about the computer? The computer shuts down emotions. They don't want to deal with their own feelings and they don't want to deal with the other person's feelings as well. They'd say something like, well, why don't you just read the instructions? They don't want to deal with feelings, how hard it is to get things done in life. They just want to deal with facts and realities. And the fourth person may be the worst person. They're called the distractor. They don't deal with their own feelings. They don't deal with your feelings. They just run away. These types of people are always going on vacation. They're always gambling. They're always having lots of fun, but they're not paying the bills. They're not really involved in the relationship. So we have these 4 styles. So what do we do with these 4 different styles? The answer is we need to develop a 5th style called leveling style. What is a leveling style? And it's a beautiful idea. We're going to take something from each of these negative styles and elevate them to a 5th and higher style. What do we learn from the placater? We learn that it is important to placate or be mevater in your marriage in different ways. Let's say a wife wants to go out and eat a milchik restaurant. She wants out of 10, number 9. And he wants to go eat in a meat restaurant, a fleischig restaurant. He wants a number 6. He says, you know what, dear? Let's go where you want to go. Let's go to milchik to make you happy. But what's very, very important? It's, of course, important to placate in marriage. But one shouldn't placate out of fear. One should placate out of love because they care about the other person. But most importantly, it shouldn't be one person placating. In a healthy marriage, both sides are able to compromise and to placate for each other. Then it's out of love. Then it's a healthy, higher style, what we call leveling with one another. What about blaming? What can we learn about blaming? Well, not so much, because criticism is the most poisonous thing in marriage. What we can learn from the blamer is to be assertive. If your landlord is abusing you, or someone's stealing your money or hurting you, you need to stand up and express your needs, but not blame the other person. What do we learn from the computer? Sometimes it's important to not overreact to all the things happening in your life. Sometimes your kids will come home from school and didn't have a good day. You don't want to overreact. Sometimes your husband and wife will come home and have a bad day with his or her boss. You don't want to overreact. You have to maintain a little bit more balance with them and be a little cool. And what about the distractor? Sometimes you can work on doing your best in life and working on your inner development and helping the world, but sometimes you just have to take a break and you just have to go out with your spouse and have a great time together and distract. Baruch Hashem, the Jewish people have this great concept called Shabbat. Shabbat means 6 days a week. We're working hard. We're trying to make money. We're taking care of our kids. We're dealing with difficult people. But one day a week, we just distract. I hope all of you could bring this idea of distraction, of Shabbat, into your daily life with your spouse. How do you bring Shabbat into your relationship, in your marriage? Simply, I used to say many years ago, people should go out with their spouse at least once a week. Well, it's a little too much because people are so busy. I just want to ask you one question. Please go out with your spouse. Make a date with your spouse at least every 2 weeks. Go out and just have a nice time and communicate together. And the good thing is, you don't have to spend a lot of money. Just take a walk together. Take a drive together. Get some soda to drink and just walk around the block together. This brings connection between a couple and overcomes all the 4 other styles of negative communication. Welcome to this new series on Hidabrut called Marriage Matters. My name is Rabbi Daniel Schonbuch, and I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist based in New York and around the world via Skype. On this important series, I will be answering your questions you have about marriage, relationships, dating, parenting, and about any issue dealing with family and relationships. But more than what I have to say, I want to hear what you have to say. So please email to this address and send in your questions, and I'll try to answer as many questions on this new show.